This is the Matt and Muse Show with Matt Hensler and Adam Musinski. Alright, welcome back to the Matt and Muse Show. This is Muse.
Hey, I'm Matt.
It is Monday, August 6th, and before I do anything, I want to wish my sister a happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Melissa. And Matt's got the volume on his phone on.
I am.
No,
I just turned my phone
double
off.
check mine.
Guys, I am on the struggle bus today. I'll be honest with you. We're a little late. My little girl, Olivia, did not want to cooperate with life before I left. On my way out the door, and she started crying and screaming and burping and farting and falling asleep. So it was a vicious cycle for about an hour.
Well, she fell asleep before you left, so.
Yeah, hopefully she's still asleep.
Right. All we can hope.
So I apologize for being late.
You're
We're
good.
back at it. It's fun.
It's fun. This is our official first college football preview show. I know we're super early compared to the rest of the season, but we have one more show before the NFL kicks off, and we want to get that in as well. So, yeah, college football. I know a couple polls came out today, but we're going to go through a few housekeeping items of other things going on in the world of sports, touch on Urban Meyer all before the break, and we'll go from there. So, I guess you already started. How's Olivia been?
Oh, she's been great. She had her 2-month checkup today. She's in the 94th percentile for length and 74th for weight.
Nice.
She's going to be a tank. She's going to be a softball player, I hope. Stay far away from boys until you're about 22, please, little girl. But, yeah, she's doing well. Things are well around the house, and just trying to stay busy. I'm really tired. Really tired.
Well, you had a big weekend.
I did have a big weekend. Myself, along with my teammates, Labadee, our fast pitch softball team, went down to Port Huron, and we won the Class D state championship this weekend. We went 4-0.
Nice.
And scored a ton of runs and beat the pants off some people. It was a lot of fun. I was happy to win, proud of the guys, and I'm excited to see what next year brings. Good job, guys, if you're listening. You're not, but hopefully you do eventually.
If you were.
How about you? What's new? I haven't talked to you in all
I
weekend,
know.
really.
Yeah, nothing too much. We went up north. I came back. We did that show, and I was still like hungover from margarita night. Other than that, no, just been hanging out, golfing. Still tearing it up. We got a good lead in our league right now, so that's always good. We enjoyed a couple days at home this weekend for the first time since June. That was nice. No, other than that, I got nothing. We're starting prep for the baby now, so that just means the lists keep on getting longer and got to find time that's not there. So, yep.
So, in the world of sports, as everybody knows, I'm not a LeBron James fan.
You are not.
He's, I don't know. If I saw him at a bar, I'd probably punch him in the throat.
And he would kill you.
Absolutely. I would not stand a chance. However, what he has done recently is beyond awesome. He started a charter school, and he is helping out not only the kids at the school, but also the families. He's providing them with food and drink and activities to do, and bikes and helmets and all sorts of crap. He is helping a community, he's helping kids, and he's helping families, and I think that's great. So my hatred for LeBron James has to take a back seat until basketball season starts back up again, when this is a story in the past. What I think he's doing is making himself look really good so he can be a dick in the basketball court.
Oh, God. It could be. I don't know. No, he's doing a lot out there. As long as they graduate, they get free 4 years tuition at the University of Akron. He's helping their parents, if they don't have GEDs, get GEDs. And the school, it started, I believe it's 3rd and 4th grade. As those kids get older, they will add grades and then refill their position. So eventually his goal is to make it like a kindergarten / first grade to senior in high school. But like parents get GEDs, like tuition's free, uniforms are free, transportation is free. To get into the school, you had to apply for it and meet certain criteria. So he's not taking like the creme de la creme of kids. He's taking the kids that need it the most. And during his speech when they were doing the ribbon cutting and everything, he's like, I ran these streets. I was able to stay away from drugs. He's like, I had a bike, which was able to get me out of my neighborhoods to play basketball. And that's how I got to where I am today. I think it's very cool. I think it's a great, is it marketing? I don't know. But to go back into Akron where he grew up and do something like this and give back that much to these kids, I think it's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, we just had a good question here. How much is he actually fronting? Until things really get going, we don't know. I mean, knowing LeBron, he's obviously good at marketing. He's probably got a lot of people helping him out with this. But it's his school. It's something he's setting up. Good for him. I mean, I'd want to say that he's fronting it all and doing as much as he can and bringing as much to it as possible. But at the same time, I mean, all it takes is going to a bike shop saying, hey, I'm LeBron James.
Right.
I'm going to give you $3 million. Supply this school with bikes for the next 10 years.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem, Mr. James. Can I have your autograph?
I want to say between him and the foundation, because he's got the LeBron James Family Foundation, I'm pretty sure I saw the number. It was $40 million. And then Akron Public Schools put part of it towards it as well. But as far, I don't know the percentage, I guess, what that would be. But he did put a good chunk of change out there. So
$40 million.
$40 million.
$40 million.
A year work for him. Not even 6 months. Psh, ain't no thing but chicken wing.
$40 million.
I wish I had $40 million. Right.
Jeez,
I'll take $4. I'll be happy.
Babies are expensive, man. Eat some chicken nuggets.
Right.
Also in the world of basketball, there was an ESPYs watching party at LeBron James's house, correct?
Yeah, they were betting on whether or not Danica Patrick was pregnant, and there was a little bit of a disagreement between Tristan Thompson and Draymond Green.
They were listening to Matt Muse show. They're like, hey, I hear Danica Patrick's pregnant. And then Draymond Green said, no, she's not. Well, Tristan Thompson punched him in the face. Allegedly. Reportedly. Multiple sources. That's great.
Yeah.
Usually Day-Day's the one causing crap and punching other people in the face. And to see him get decked, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked he did not start that fight. But apparently KD and LeBron had to step in and then, separate them and everything, which it's interesting. They're all hanging out.
That would have been a great thing to see. Some of the most amazing athletes on the planet right now, all together at the same party, getting a scuff. I mean,
there's so many cameras out there. Like, everyone has a camera on your phone. How is this not leaked yet? Someone had to have that on camera. Snapchat, somewhere.
Maybe it didn't happen.
Ooh, conspiracy theory.
Heard it here first.
Dun, dun, dun. There was no punch.
There was no party.
Well, there's probably a party.
Illuminati.
Well, it couldn't have been too much of a party.
It was not an ESPYs meeting or party. It was an Illuminati meeting.
It could have been an ESPYs party, but no one would be drinking because Danica Patrick's pregnant.
Why couldn't LeBron James drink if Danica Patrick's pregnant?
Because they didn't want to have booze there to actually tempt her. I don't know. I'm trying to get this rumor going, dude.
It's not working.
No.
That's a terrible rumor.
Anyways,
we didn't say that.
The NBA, again, being the progressive league, has came to a deal with MGM Grand. I forgot what I was going there with, too, so I was like, whatever. Inked a deal. I don't know, whatever. With MGM to be the first major U.S. sports league with a partner in the legal sportsbook operators. I know when this first got legalized, the NBA did say, hey, this is something we're going to look into. I'm not sure what cut they get or percentage. All I know is the deal is supposed to be for 3 years and $25 million. So they're going to be getting some money from that. And then MGM is now going to get stats directly from the NBA, things that other casinos and sports books don't necessarily have that ease of access for. Again, we all know the NBA is very progressive. Adam Silver's a young young man and always looking for the next step and being up in front of the trends. What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's progressive. I think it's a money grab. And I think that's all it is. I mean, it's one thing to be progressive as a league. It's another thing to say, hey, I have an opportunity to link up with the most profitable scheme in the United States, legal casinos.
But wouldn't that be progressive and then now you're making money?
It's Adam Silver being a sleazeball, in my opinion. It seems dirty. It seems very dirty.
You're wrong. I disagree. If you have the opportunity, if you're putting out a product and someone else is using it for gain without your permission, shouldn't you then want to go in and say, hey, you're making trillions of dollars. I want a cut. And you're using my product to make that.
Very true. But then how difficult is it then, how easy is it then to relive something like the Black Sox, where one guy goes into one team and says, hey, we're making trillions of dollars. I can get you some of that money if you, I don't know, lose this game, and this game.
Oh, I'm sure it's definitely possible, and I think it was possible even before the agreement.
Oh, it absolutely was. But now you have a legitimate business partnership that takes one illegitimate person within that partnership to step in and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. The NBA's, for lack of a better term, the last 10 to 15 years has been called a rigged league. I mean, there's only certain teams at the top. There's only certain players that go to these certain teams. Whenever one of those players goes to a different team, it's because they want to create a big stink about it and say, hey, I'm going back to Cleveland,
right,
LeBron. And all it was publicity at that point. I'm going back home. I'll never leave. And what's he do? He leaves and creates another publicity stunt. I think a lot of it's a publicity stunt and a lot of it's a money grab. I just, in a way, I see that you're saying it's progressive. I understand that, but it seems too good to be true. It just seems way too good to be true to have such large entities working together, and one of them is gambling.
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying. I think part of it's because it's never been part of the sports world legally, ever. Maybe in a few years you'll see it differently when everyone's doing it, and it's just an accepted thing. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, you do make it now a lot easier for the wrong person to get in there and start scratching numbers and, oh, I'm going to lose this game. I'm going to miss this free throw. I'm going to shave these points. And all of a sudden, you're a dirtier league than you were to begin with.
Come to find out they're in MGM's payroll.
Right, exactly. I get what you're saying. I do. I just think if there's money out there, why not go get it?
If there's money out there, I'd be going to get it.
Go get it. I don't think anyone wants to bet on you. They'd bet against you, and they'd still win.
I bet they won't.
Oh, yeah, because no one knows who you are. Except our 214 friends on Facebook. Yeah, congrats.
Changing gears a little bit here. MLB trade deadline just passed. Lots of big things happen. If you didn't see up Matt Muse's page, Manny Machado, big deal there. Went from the Orioles to the Dodgers, and a handful of other things went through. What I hoped would happen did not happen, and that was to see the Detroit Tigers, my team, sell. The only trade that they had go through was Leonys Martin to an in-division rival, the Indians, and got another middle infielder back. That's like the 30th middle infielder in the top three affiliates that we have right now. Mm-hmm. They had a trade set up to put Fires to Oakland, and of course that fell through because how dare we actually make a freaking deal with anybody?
But now it has gone through.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but for 2 prospects.
Yeah. What's stupid though? So that's another thing that bugs me. All right, you touch the sore subject. Not
Go.
Sore, just anger. So they have this trade deadline, the MLB. That should be the deadline.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to refile under something else to say, you know what, we're not going to trade you, but we're going to drop you and make an agreement that they're going to pick you up right away. Conveniently, they're dropping those guys too.
Right.
And we're going to pick them up right away. It's not a trade, but it's a trade.
It's a waiver deal.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
And if it is a trade deadline, there's no more trades after that. Nothing. That's it.
Yeah, because like in the NFL, there's not too many in-season trades, but like the NBA and the NHL, there definitely are until, I mean, you go 2-3 hours before that 4 p.m. deadline, you got deals happening left and right that entire day. But in the MLB, you're completely right. Hey, the A's and Tigers weren't completely on the same page, so they waited another 6-7 days and said, okay, now we are. And now we'll go put them on waivers and yada, yada. No, I agree. I think it's stupid. If you want to make a trade, make it by July 31st and get it over with.
Absolutely. But either way, I mean, the Tigers, they got all these young kids that are proving their worth. Freaking Castellanos is stroking the ball still. Iglesias is having another decent season. Get rid of them. Nobody's untouchable in Tigers right now.
Not
they shouldn't have been. And we get rid of nobody. I mean, it was a waste, an absolute waste. And then you look over at Boston. Our buddy over at Boston trying to do the same thing he did in Detroit.
Yep.
He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 former Tigers now.
I think so.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I hope they beat the pants off the Yankees, and I hope they run that division. And I hope that Al Avila says, "Oh crap, I screwed up because I'm an idiot."
Yeah.
I hope those are his exact words too.
But the Red Sox will get to the World Series and lose because that's how Dombrowski builds teams. Unless he knows how to do it right this time. I don't know. But, no, I'm on the same page. I thought they should have sold everything. Sold the clubhouse, sold everything that anyone ever wanted, and just go after prospects. Hey, we know we're not going to be good right now. We know we're not going to be good next year. Let's get rid of people who are proving worth to contenders and go after their high-end prospects and build our team for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. But, of course, that didn't happen.
Of course not.
Whatever. Stupid Tigers.
All right. That's our...
hate being a Detroit sports fan.
Right. That's our housekeeping segment. That was what was going on in the world of sports beyond college football, which was good because that would not have filled up an episode.
We should have done that last. I'm angry now.
Well, you'll get happy. No one would have listened to the end if we did that last. Everyone's waiting on two things.
It's
Urban Meyer.
The show. And stop clogging up their Facebook feed. And one of us to fall out of our chair.
One will happen sooner than the other. Matt didn't bring bourbon, so I'm betting on the latter. All right. Our college football poll question was, who will win the college football playoff? Had a couple of you chime in. Melanie said, fire up Chips. Like your enthusiasm. I'll be rooting for them, but unfortunately, I don't think they're going to make it.
They're just going to miss, though.
Just barely. Yeah. They'll be number 5.
Yeah.
Lauren Kippy, MSU, probably wishful thinking, more realistic. She said Clemson. I put MSU as a dark. Like, I don't count them out. Do you?
Absolutely not.
They got a returning quarterback who's probably going to be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. Got D'Antonio.
Quick update. Olivia just had a big old fart and messed her diaper. She feels better now.
Oh, good.
Just so everybody out there knows. Shayna, if you're watching this, tell her I said good job.
That's...
But anyway, no, I definitely will not count Michigan State out, not just because I'm a Spartan fan. They'd have a lot of returning starters. They've got a lot of potential. And with things moving and shaking in the Big Ten East as far as certain coaching staff and personnel, I see a lot of upside for them. Mm-hmm. A lot more than other teams in the division. But
yeah, I mean, look, I kind of went through all the conferences and everything, but I had them number 3 in the Big Ten. I had them in front of Michigan, Penn State, and I had Ohio State and Wisconsin in front of them. But like I said, anything can happen in college football. We all know that. All you need to do is mishandle a punt and you lose. Hey-o.
Go green.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, it's... All right, let's get to it. Urban Meyer.
He is a dirtbag. I'm not saying that because I'm from Michigan and don't like Ohio State. Actually, you know who's a bigger dirtbag is Shelley Meyer, his wife. How she hasn't been fired yet, I don't know. Everyone's talking about, has Urban Meyer gone through the proper channels of Title IX? Unfortunately, until the investigation is over, we will not know that. But I can tell you with certainty that Shelley did not. She was on the university board. She's like the head of nursing for Ohio State. She knew about the abuse, or at least the expected abuse, and all she did was tell Urban. She could have gone through the proper channels, gone to Title IX office, taken it on her own, and for all we know, this problem with Urban probably never would have came up. But it did. I think she needs to be fired. They're going through an investigation right now. They said it'd be wrapped up in 14 days. Urban wrote a stupid letter on Twitter the other day, a couple days ago, kind of saying when he lied was just to the media because he wasn't expecting those types of questions, saying he went through all the proper channels. He doesn't really list proper, like, the specific channels he went through.
I read through the letter. It is, it's very vague.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, he's trying to cover his own butt, and his wife's to some extent. And I completely agree with you. I mean, Shelley Meyer is just as big of a professional at that college as Urban is.
Yes.
And she should be held just as accountable for not reporting things the correct way.
Exactly.
She knew just as much, if not more, than what Urban knew. And she kept it quiet also. However, it's all being put on the guy that gets put on TV every single Saturday. The guy that's making a few $1 million a year to coach a Division I football team. Not his wife.
Right.
Who knew just as much and is just a responsible person and academically at that school.
That's what I don't want the public to forget. Like, yeah, as much as I think Urban should be in trouble and he probably should lose his job, don't forget Shelley knew first. And Shelley's admitted it, Urban's admitted it, as well as Courtney Smith's admitted it too in that article or whatever she wrote. There's going to be more things to come out with this. Looking at it right now, do you keep him on or you fire him?
Fire him. Gone.
Yeah.
He is.
I agree.
He's contradicting himself too much. He, from the beginning, did not tell 100% truth. Didn't necessarily lie about everything, but he didn't tell the truth. If you are going to cover for somebody like that, you gotta expect the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's plenty of people out there that are trying to compare this to the Jerry Sandusky scandal.
It's completely different.
Not even close.
Yeah.
You need to get that out of the equation whatsoever. Yes, there was a cover-up, but it's a completely different type of scenario. If you know what's going on, you know what's not right with you. You could be my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And if I know that there's something that you expect me to cover up for you when it comes to something legal or something influencing or affecting the safety of somebody's life, I'm going to tell somebody. I'm going to put a stop to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you need to be. I don't care how. There's somebody else out there that can coach your wide receivers. There's somebody else out there that can help you do whatever you need to get done. That one person is not worth your life, your spouse and family's lives, and the lives of everybody around you. It's not worth your job and your livelihood just to cover up for that one person doing something that you know needs to stop. I absolutely think it needs to be gone. And that program's going to take a big hit, and I don't think the kids that are playing there should be held to... Help me out here. They shouldn't be punished for it.
Yeah. No, I agree. And if you look at Urban's past in Florida, where this officially started in 2009, the first accident, or however you want to, not accident, but incident. There you go.
Good word.
But he had 30 players arrested just at Florida in his 6 seasons there. Aggravated assault, stalking, stealing credit cards, and he also had Aaron Hernandez, who committed murder. So
and that's not going to help him either. I mean, he stood up for Aaron Hernandez time and time again, and then it came out that he did commit murder.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to help Urban's case.
Yeah, exactly. It's not his first incident. He's had many incidents worse than this, but this is still right up there. And like you were saying, like, if anyone I know comes up to me and is like, hey, my husband or wife's been abusing me, I'm not keeping that a secret, sorry. I'm going to look out for you in your best interest. And if you don't want to go to the police or anything, that's fine. I'll go. I get that it can be hard and it can be scary to go up against those things, but the first thing I'm doing is getting on the phone and be like, hey, I heard this. I don't know what else to do beyond this, but I need to let someone with more power and ability know than just me.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't something to brush under the rug. I don't agree with what certain news stations have done with it and blown it way more out of proportion on urban's sake than it needs to be. But at the same time, I mean, it's big, it's huge, and it is going to, whether or not he does get fired, which, like I said, I believe he does, it's going to hurt the program. He's going to lose recruits. The school's going to lose credibility if they keep him on. And it's not going to be good for anybody. Get rid of him, wash your hands of it, wipe the slate clean, start over in 4 years.
Yeah, and the one thing, like you're saying, I hope the kids there now don't get punished for his actions, because especially, like, they weren't anyway involved. We at least hope at this point. Who knows what the investigation might bring. But that's the one thing with college sports and punishments when it comes to breaking the rules is a lot of times they do punish the innocent, being the kids. Like, we all saw the whole Penn State thing, and I thought it was really cool when Penn State first got their punishment. A lot of those kids were like, nope, I'm going to stay here. A handful of them left because they were allowed to, I get it, but a handful also made the commitment to stay. But that's the one thing I do hope, like, in all this, burn Urban Meyer down, burn Shelley Meyer down, make them hate themselves for what they did not do, but don't punish the kids.
Nope. At the end of the day, they're students. They're student athletes.
You're Ohio State. You're going to get a coach, and I guarantee you, at most you'll lose 3 games this year. Like, it's okay.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we will get to that, but...
Other big news while we're on it, college football today. University of North Carolina.
Yes.
They suspended 13, or are in the process of suspending 13 players from their football team, including their starting quarterback. These players allegedly sold school-issued special edition Nike Jordan shoes. I think that's dumb.
You talk about a program that needs to go away, it's North Carolina football. I'm a huge North Carolina basketball fan, but that school has so many stupid scandals like that. Academics, selling shoes. Like, who's watching the football program? Obviously no one. They're kind of watching the basketball program. Something needs to get changed there in upper management and academia world, because this can't keep happening if you're a D1 school.
It's a mess. I mean, so I was kind of conflicted when I saw this come across docket this afternoon rather. On one hand, they should know better. I mean, it's when you are given something, it's really easy to look up in the rules of the NCAA that says, hey, school gave me this, I can't sell it to anybody. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, I've sold a lot of crap in my own personal life that I just need to make a quick buck. Like, hey, you can have my shoes. They're $50. Yeah. I mean,
that's just it. It was probably a group of dudes that are like, someone's going to give me $300 for these? Here you go. I'll just go get another pair. For them, it was, they should have known. Did they know? I mean, come on, you got to know it's a rule. At the end of the day, like, when you think about it, like, come on, dude, be smarter than that. But yeah, I could see though, like, I'm 19 years old. Someone's giving me $300 for a stupid pair of shoes.
I don't have to eat ramen noodles this week. All right.
But they're not eating ramen noodles. That's the other point. Like, you're being taken care of.
Wow.
They're stipends.
You're angry.
You're calm. I'm angry.
I mean, there's so many scandals that happen in college sports. Yeah. It's ridiculous, and that's never going to stop. And that's what keeps sports interesting. I mean, whether it's selling shoes or having somebody pay for your tattoos.
Exactly.
Or hookers. Lots of hookers.
God. So many scandals. Just pay the damn players. Get it over with. This is a different... No, we'll worry about this later.
We got so much to get to still.
Right. We're almost running out of time on the first half. We'll go through... We'll save all our predictions for the second half. We'll hit 2 things real quick. Big 12. Should they be in the Power 5?
Big 12 should not be a Power 5 conference, and I have one reason why. They do not have a championship game.
Yep.
And they have been snubbed in the playoffs ever since the playoffs have started. They've been snubbed in big bowl games for years and years and years, and the NCAA keeps coming in and saying, hey, Big 12, you need a championship game, and you will get your recognition that you deserve. But they don't do that.
No.
So it's completely on themselves, and I don't think they deserve to be included in the conversations. Yes, there's some outstanding football schools in that conference, but what the hell, guys? Just have one more game. Make a little bit, I don't know, another extra $3 million that year?
Right. Yeah, just put a championship game in. Come on. That's all we want. Everyone else is doing it. Just do it. Get off your high horse. You have 10 teams, split them 5 and 5. I'm sure you can find 2 more teams that are good enough and want to come play with you. Then you can go 6 and 6 in your divisions. Go have a championship game. Or if you don't want to do divisions, just have your top 2 teams play at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Like, who cares? Just one more game.
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Heard it here first. Big 12 is not going to be a Power 5 conference anymore.
Power 4. Power 5. Mac's coming in. Watch it.
The Mac?
The Mac. I love the Mac. Fire up chips.
Okay. Well, we just lost all credibility.
Preseason poll came out today with the coaches. Alabama number 1, Clemson number 2, Ohio State number 3, Georgia, Oklahoma, Washington, Wisconsin, Miami, Penn State, Auburn round out the top 10. Michigan State 12, Michigan 14. Anything else of note? Not really. They don't know what's going to happen.
They never do.
It's just some football, so it's cool to talk about.
I think that if Urban Meyer's gone, no way Ohio State has the season they're projected.
Oh, no, not at all.
No way.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good of a coach you bring in or how good your team is. I mean, that's a big-name coach. That's a good coach, and you will see the difference on the field. So, all right, coming up, Beer the Podcast. Matt has a very interesting stat/fact of the podcast. Our college football championship predictions. Should the playoffs be expanded? We talk Harbaugh and how much Matt hates Nick Saban. All coming up next. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We all know what that beautiful sound means. That means it's time for Beer the Podcast.
And since we're talking about college football and college sports and all things college,
we got a cheap old beer that we both drank in college, and that's why this episode's called We Drank Strohs in College. Here's some Strohs. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, brother.
So,
it tastes like Friday nights.
Beer pong.
Oh.
Stroh's American Lager, 4.5%. Originally brewed in Detroit, now in Wisconsin. They do have other beers brewed in Detroit now, which is kind of cool, but that's about all we got.
Stroh's is, when I was in college, you can get Stroh's for like, I think it was $16 out the door for a 30 rack.
Oh, yeah.
I went through a lot of Stroh's. It was back when I had the blue box and the blue cans.
Oh, God, yes. Man. Now they're white and...
Now they look like a classy beer.
Well, because it's supposed to be the older look, but...
Oh, I totally get it. I just...
Stroh's is classy.
I can't believe I drank this much of that.
I know, right?
For that much of this.
Yeah. So they used to be brewed in Detroit, ended up over in Wisconsin, but they did contract with... Brew Detroit, exactly. They got Perseverance, which is an IPA, Stroh's Bohemia Pilsner, and a wheat ale coming out soon as well. Really tasty, gets a lot of love. Owned by Pabst, so to get the right kind of drinker in there and everything, I don't know. We just thought we'd celebrate our college days with some Stroh's.
You want to go do a ripper off a beer bong in the back porch?
There you go. We'll let this keep going and see what happens.
Stay tuned. There's a potential of another Facebook Live video coming in the near future.
Right. Quick little fun news. Conor McGregor is officially coming back to the MMA.
All right.
October 6th in Vegas. They need a star because their numbers have been dwindling. McGregor's 21-3. He hasn't fought in the UFC since November of 16. It's going to be almost 2 years. But he did have that Floyd Money Mayweather fight, which he just lost about a year ago. But yeah, he's coming back. I'm excited. I'm ready for his press conference. I don't usually watch the fights, but I will watch the press conference, especially if he's in it. Yeah.
UFC is it's dying, man.
Yeah. They need this. They need a star. They need a face quick.
The last big fight that happened was a money fight, and it was the boxing match that McGregor decided to go fight.
Yeah, it wasn't even an MMA fight.
No, I mean, it's when the UFC was just sold for $4 billion, whatever it was, there's no way in hell that they're going to make that money back.
I mean,
unless
possibly,
something crazy
but
like this happens. But you look when it's sold, and all these big name fighters are still in it. And now all these fighters that are coming up, they don't have the following, they don't have the support, they don't have the desire to go out and find all these contracts to come in and say, hey, look at me, look where I've been, my face is on that billboard, I'm going to fight for you. It's just, oh, I'm here, I'm going to punch him, he's going to punch me, we're going to bleed all over your stuff.
Yeah, that's just it. They reached their peak. Zuffa, the parent company of UFC, officially got out of it for way too much money, somewhere between $3.5 and $4 billion. And for them, good. You got out of it when your sport was at the highest it could be, brilliant. And you are now a billionaire. As far as the rest, everyone was just starting to get into it when this sale went through, and just since then, right down ESPN was starting looking into getting rights for it and everything, and Bud Light was in it instead. I think Mickey's was back in the early 2000s was their sponsor, so like they were getting some big name money, but now their numbers are just starting to go downhill. So I don't know. That's the end of that.
Other big news for one-on-one matches, title fights, if you will. One of them, 42 years old. The other, 48, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, everybody.
Dun, dun, dun. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanksgiving weekend.
I am going to shoot me a deer, eat me some turkey, and watch me some golf.
5 days before the due date, this tournament match takes place. And you better believe, if we're in the hospital, it's going to be on. I'll have a beer in my hand, and I'll have a microphone in my mouth, and we'll be podcasting from there.
I'm going to stand behind a protective screen so I don't get things thrown at me from your wife. But yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Let's get real. No, I will definitely try and watch it if we are there. Who knows? But it's either going to be the 23rd or 24th, Friday or Saturday. So it's going to be probably 18-hole match, $10 million. Not sure where the money's coming from, how it's all working and everything. But I'm excited for it. I think it's about time. I think if they can find a way to make it semi prime time, you'll boost your numbers up that way. I know there's a lot of football going on that weekend and everything, but hey, man, you're going to have a lot of people tuning in. The one thing I just thought of now that I said that...
Hey, man, you're going to have a lot of people tuning in.
You are. The one thing I did think of, though, that's usually like rivalry weekend in the NCAA.
That's another rivalry, man. I mean,
no, I know. But November, what are you really thinking about?
I'm going to guess it's going to be on Friday. I hope it's on Friday. There's going to be a lot less football games on Friday.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Okay. Well, while he's looking that up, I'm going to let everybody know that we're going to be champions this weekend.
We are.
We have a golf outing that we are playing in this weekend. It is for when I was in college, I started the club baseball team at Saginaw Valley.
Oh, you started it?
I started it.
I did not know that.
I had help, but I was the
founding
first president
father
and the founder of the SVSU club baseball team. Since then, they have now brought in a golf outing that they do every year to try and raise money for their team in the season. And I am told that Adam does not lose golf outings.
Nope. Haven't lost one since 2013, I believe it was. So pressure's on. Like I said, you play to win the game. I want winners. Don't want losers.
Okay.
So, Casey, when you listen to this,
get psyched, man.
You better be at the range every day practicing. I want to see 50 bunker shots. Nope, no bunker shots. We're not going in the bunker. Practice your putting only within 10 feet because we're not going to go beyond that from the pin. except on par fives. It might have a long eagle. Got to make that. And
I'm just going to listen to some Slayer till we play. Get all pumped up.
yeah,
Oh,
rock on. So that weekend, back to the golf matchup that really counts and people actually watch. It does count, but no one
It
cares.
counts. I care.
We'll let you know.
Dominate.
We'll go live on Facebook right after and let you guys know how we did. But if we lost, we're not doing it. Yeah, we will. It's fine.
Oh, we'll totally do
Now we just can't forget about it. Washington State is the big game, 8:30 at night. That's it.
Yeah.
On Friday. So, yeah, it hopefully they do go Friday because you have a lot more interesting games on Saturday.
No, I'm excited. I haven't watched a golf match in
It's going to be
forever.
cool.
And stayed awake in forever.
Hopefully they actually do what they say they're going to do and get them all mic'd up and everything during it and let them do side bets. Why not?
I hope it's a winner-take-all bout.
Oh, yeah.
No, screw the charities. No. I'm going to win this money. I'm going to win $5 million from you. I'm taking it home, and I'm going to buy a damn car, and I'm going to drive it up and down the street in front of your house for the next year just because I beat you. That's what I want to see.
The sad thing is they're friends now, so Woods would probably be like, hey, Phil, you want to go for a ride to the grocery store? Get some milk?
You're buying.
Right? Oh, wait, you already did. Making it rain.
Here's $1,000. Keep the change.
Right. PGA Championships this weekend. Tiger's Woods' last win has officially been over 5 years ago. Is at the 2013 Bridgestone Invitational. It's his longest streak. He's 5 years, his longest streak in between wins. The one before that was, I think it was just over 3 years after the sex scandal. But yeah, I'll be paying attention to that. Last major of the year before the Ryder Cup. It's exciting. Chicken. We're going to transition this really well.
I wasn't ready for the chicken. I thought we were still talking golf.
I had chicken for dinner yesterday.
How you feeling
today? I feel fantastic.
Not jumpy at all?
Nope. I'm not nervous by any means. Very content.
Reportedly, Jim Harbaugh will not eat chicken. You know, Jim Harbaugh, the coach that gets paid a ton of freaking money to coach U of M. U of M. He will not eat chicken because it is, quote, a nervous bird. He thinks that eating chicken will make him a jumpy person. Harbaugh's an idiot.
Okay.
How can a grown man think that? It's like the best source of protein for all of his players, but he won't eat chicken?
It's Harbaugh.
He's an idiot. I mean, the guy... all right, say your piece.
Sorry. No, he's a weird dude, and he's odd, and he's competitive, and he says these weird things which people like, but cool, he gets in the news, and you talk about him, and yada, yada, yada. When you going to win, dude? Like, I mean, like, I'll call him out. I don't see him losing his job over it at this point, but you have all these antics and nothing's happening.
He has slumber parties with kickers, and he gets kittens out of trees, and he doesn't have very many big wins in his career so far. I mean, he is a very good figurehead for a team as a coach. Mm-hmm. He's very positive. He's always got good things to say to the media. He's a positive role model. He is a good coach, but I think he's a good assistant coach. I think there's a reason that he had to leave the NFL. I think there's a reason that he is coming into the University of Michigan, and they say, oh, he's going to bring in all these great quarterbacks. He's going to develop this program. It's going to be really awesome, and he's yet to do it because he doesn't know how to take that team to the next level where it needs to be. He's stuck. He doesn't know what to do. He's lost. He does not have these big wins under his belt. He keeps trying to restructure the coaching staff around him, which is good, but he's not doing it. And every single year for the last 2 to 3 years, how long is Harbaugh going to last? Oh, we have to wait to see we get 4 full years of Harbaugh recruits. We're there. Mm-hmm. We've seen it.
This is 4.
Yep. If they don't do anything this year, then what? What's the next excuse for him? It's not. I'm not putting this on U of M people. It's sports networks. It's radio shows. It's everything. They say Harbaugh needs to do this. He needs to do this. He needs to do this. And it always boiled down to we need to see 4 years of Harbaugh recruits. Mm-hmm. This is that year.
He still doesn't have his quarterback.
No, absolutely
he hasn't
not.
been
That's
able
why
to
he
get
got brought
that guy.
in. He got brought in to be a quarterback coach. Mm-hmm. He got brought in to develop a great core of quarterbacks out of the University of Michigan. Is yet to do it. So if he doesn't do it this year, how much longer of a leash is the guy going to have?
He can't have too much longer, especially because you're bringing your guys in. You're not seeing wins. If Urban Meyer does get fired in this scandal, and you still don't beat Ohio State.
He hasn't beat Ohio State yet. He's only beat Michigan State once.
On a fluff punt that they screwed up.
Yep.
That all the dude had to do was jump on the ball and the game would have been over and he would have won. But 2015, 2016, 2017, this is 2018. This is 4 years. Stanford, 4 years. San Diego, 3 years. San Francisco, 4 years. He doesn't stick around long.
No, there's a reason he's moving around.
So if he doesn't show up anytime soon, again, who really are going to get that's better than Harbaugh at this point? I don't know. But at some point, questions have to be asked and the pressure has to be put on. He's only finished in the AP or coaches poll, whatever one you want to listen to, at the end of a season 3 times in those 6, 7, 10 years. 4 with 2010 Stanford, 12 2015 with Michigan, and 10 2016 with Michigan. That's it. Why? I get he's a good coach and he's
a great assistant coach.
Yeah, that's just it. He hasn't won the big game. He only won 2 conference titles, and that was with San Diego in the Pioneer Football League. It's like the MAC. Like, come on, let's get real.
No, it's not. It's not as good as the MAC.
Okay, that's my point though. If you look at his NFL thing, okay, lost championship game, lost the Raiders in the Super Bowl. Cool, not bad. Well, then you blew up and went 8-8 and got fired, / walked away, whatever. He's got to prove something quick. I'm not a diehard Michigan fan. I'm not a diehard State fan. I live and bleed maroon and gold. I will not lie to you about that. But his clock's got to be ticking, man.
Absolutely. I thought that 2 years ago. And he keeps getting the benefit of the doubt. And this has got to be it. It absolutely has to be it. So staying on track with college football. Let's talk some predictions here.
Let's do it.
It took me...
This is the first time we both probably did
any research.
Legit research for the show as well as actual predictions. So
yeah, college football season's right around the corner, everybody. Really exciting.
Here's my first question. How did you do it?
Well,
what was your first step?
My first step was pour myself a glass of whiskey.
Nice.
Then I fell asleep on the couch. Woke up and said, crap, I forgot to do it. So then I did it the next day. I went through this for about a solid 2 to 3 hours back and forth. I ripped out 100 pages, and I think I have a good prediction here. Matt Muse is the first prediction show of the year that I know of.
I do believe so.
So
get ready.
Suck it, ESPN.
Yeah, we're so good we do it early.
We are now no longer going to be signed by ESPN.
Right. Barstool, here we come. So how I did mine, I went through all the conferences and basically narrowed it down. I basically took every team who I could legitimately see winning out of each conference and then basically just made a list. And then I went to pick the champions. Then kind of screwed around with the bowls beyond that because it's hard. Because the Rose Bowl, Big Ten versus Pac-12, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yep.
But it's also first right of refusal, and you actually never really know who's going to get in it. And the Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl are just at large bids, so you still don't know what's going to go into it. And then going the Cotton and Orange Bowls in the playoff. Originally, I just picked 4 teams, and finally I'm like, okay, well maybe I should actually specify what was going to happen. Matt's being weird.
I just wrote Adam a note, and it was the goal was for him to keep talking so he could read the note. He stopped talking to read the note. He can't do two things at once.
Wait, you want me to read what you wrote?
No, I don't want you to read what I wrote. I want you to just read it to yourself.
Yeah,
but you were supposed to keep talking anyway.
Dude, I can only do one thing at a time. I try and do a lot, but I can't. Anyways, so... Man, this was going so good.
It's our first ever prediction show. We'll get it figured out.
Give us a break, guys. We're going longer than an hour. That's all I got to say. That was the note. All right. Predictions. Let's go through. We'll do the Power 5 conference champions first. I'd have them listed in alphabetical order. Do you have?
I do.
Oh, okay. ACC. Who do you got?
I got Clemson over Miami right now.
Oh, God. You picked the losing team, too?
Well, you shouldn't ask me first.
All
I mean, the ACC, it's one of those conferences that every year there's 2 of 3 teams at the top.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really top-heavy conference. Not to say that the lower teams in the conference aren't good, but they just never, ever seem to compete with the top 3 to 4 teams.
Right.
And this year, I don't see anybody touching Clemson.
No.
They have, God, I think I read they've got all but 3 returners.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very well coached. They're a very hard-nosed team. I mean, they go after the ball, they go hard, and they go fast.
Yeah.
I see them doing very, very well in the entire season. I think they're going to roll over Miami in the championship game.
I think so, too. That's exactly what I had. I did put Miami as one of my 2 teams I thought could come out of the ACC, but I don't think Miami's going to have a year like they did last year. I think there was a lot of hype behind it, but at the end of the day, I just think Clemson is so much better than pretty much everyone in that division. I don't see anyone really getting close to them. They're just so good. It's like I say, they're all returning. They're coming back. Dabo Swinney is a magician, basically. I love him as a coach. I love everything he does and everything he represents. So yeah, I'll take Clemson as well over Miami.
Well, this isn't very contradictory so far, but
nope.
Let's continue.
Who knows? It might not be.
Be really ticked if we had the same ones the entire way. I didn't look at yours. You didn't look at mine.
No, I did not. Big 12, I picked, since there's no championship game, so I don't got to give you a loser, thank God. I picked Oklahoma.
I did too.
Oh, God damn it.
Need another Strohs. For those of you that doubt what we actually drink in the show, if we say we're drinking Strohs, we're drinking Strohs.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't cheat the system.
Well, the only time we drink something else is usually before the Beer of the Podcast, so we don't want to give Beer of the Podcast away when we're on Facebook Live. So,
Big 12, it's going to be Oklahoma. They're still strong. They've come out 3 of the last 4 years.
Yeah.
The top team.
I put TCU as the other. Again, I picked 2 teams out of there, too, and I put TCU possibly, but at the end of the day, I'm like, not really. Maybe in a bowl game, but no, I don't think so.
I do think a dark horse in that conference this year is going to be K-State, though.
Yeah.
I agree. They surprised me last year. I think they're going to make people look at them a little bit harder this year. But same damn thing every single year. Big 12 is going to get snubbed for the big bowl games. They're going to get snubbed for the national championship because they don't have a freaking championship.
Or are they? Our predictions coming up next. Not really. We're still going. Big 10. I took a flyer on here. I picked Ohio State initially, and then with the whole coaching issues, I actually went to Wisconsin. I think Penn State's going to have a down year compared to last year, losing Saquon Barkley. I don't see Michigan doing much. I think MSU is going to do good. I think that championship game will be good between MSU and Wisconsin. But Wisconsin has been so good. Their quarterback's coming back as well. It's time they win, and I think they actually get in the playoff too this year.
Hey, all right.
Ooh, you do not have Wisconsin, do you?
Well, I have them win the West because the West is a joke. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So I liked when the Big Ten first split up into the leaders and the legends because it was a little bit top heavy that way, but it was exciting. Now with the East and the West, Rutgers and Maryland are in the East. They're bad.
Yeah.
Everybody in the West, for whatever reason right now, even Nebraska and Iowa, are bad, except for Wisconsin.
And I think Nebraska and Iowa can definitely, bust some teams up along the way.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I mean, they're notorious for having good programs. For
right.
whatever reason, though, the last several years they've been down.
Yeah, but by no means that I'm taking Wisconsin over both of those.
I went back and forth a lot of times.
Yeah.
Michigan State's going to win the East. Ohio State's not going to win it.
Nope.
Especially, even if Urban Meyer stays, they're not going to win it. There's just too much surrounding that school right now. There's too much off-field drama. We've seen in the past how a team performs with that kind of issues going on. Michigan State's going to win the East, and they are going to beat Wisconsin in the championship game. They will. You heard it here first.
Wisconsin's going to win.
No. I had them winning. I changed my mind.
I do think that Wisconsin-MSU game will be very good. It's going to be close.
Frickin' better be.
Frickin' better be. I do like both those schools. Again, I can see either of them winning, but I'm going to put Wisconsin in it as trying to go off beat and try something different. I don't know. Pac-12. I put Washington over. Hang on, I just listed them. I don't know who it's over yet. I got to pick someone from the South Conference. USC. Washington. No, USC. They beat USC. What?
Did you not write this down?
I did. I just put all my three teams, Washington, USC, Stanford, Washington State, from the Pac-12. But then I put my champion down here. I just put Washington. I didn't pick a loser. Oh, my gosh. Next year, we need to do this better.
I did it good.
Next year, I need to do this better. Mine's typed.
So I picked Washington to win. Also, we're pretty good at this.
We're that bad together.
Washington's their offense they're too good. They really are. They have an offense with, I think, 9 or 10 returners. They're going to be solid this year. But in the South, USC's got too many slow starts, man. They're going to come out, if they come out of the gate like they have the last few years, they're going to come out really soft, and they're going to lose 3 games that they should win, and that's going to make Arizona take over. I think Arizona's going to win out of the South, and they're going to lose to Washington in a barn burner in the championship game. I'm thinking 46-39. 46.
You better write that down. I was not listening. Who'd you have losing?
Arizona. Thank you for listening, though.
You're welcome. I did not put them in one of my teams that could win.
Well, you watch.
I will. I'll watch them lose.
Arizona Sunday.
Washington will win. SEC.
Oh, I hate the SEC.
Unfortunately, I can't bet against Alabama.
Me either.
I picked them over Georgia.
Yeah.
Take it. But you never know. Last year, they didn't even get in the championship game. They found a way to get in the playoffs. That's a whole different story. But I just...
Even though
with
stupid
Toodle Hawaii boy, I just if they have him for a whole season and they can actually bring him into his system correctly and learn to play with him, seeing what he did in the championship game scares me.
Totally. So Nick Saban one time said that you should have to win your conference championship game to make the playoffs, and then he didn't and still made the damn playoffs.
Conspiracy.
I hate Nick Saban. Let's get these stupid bowl games out of the way.
Just wait, guys. We had a good stat/fact of the podcast coming up.
We're going to start I don't have the bowl games in alphabetical order.
I don't actually either. I put Rose Bowl on the top, though.
Hey, I did too.
All right. Who do you got?
I've got U of M losing to USC.
Oh, I picked Ohio State over USC.
So we both have USC in there. I'm going to put an asterisk by it.
There you go.
I don't know why, because I'm probably going to lose this notebook by the time New Year's rolls around. University of Michigan, they've been in the Rose Bowl how many times? Like 1,000?
Yeah.
Give or take a few hundred. They'll go back this year. They're not going to have a bad year. They're not going to have a great year. They're not going to have the year they need to have, having Harbaugh there, but they'll have a good year. But USC, I see them as one of the top teams coming out of the Pac-12. But I think they're going to be third place in the Pac-12.
Yeah. I picked Ohio State. It's Ohio State. It's one of those things, they've just always been good. I think they could find a way to get that bid in there. But
what sucks, though, is USC always has a home game every time they play the Rose Bowl.
Right.
That's not even fair. They shouldn't be allowed to play.
Right. Exactly.
But they do.
But we both have them losing, so I guess it doesn't matter.
No. I have them winning.
Oh, you have them winning? Oh,
I have them.
You're an idiot.
Beating U of M.
Oh. I have them losing to Ohio State.
I know. I heard you.
Oh.
You obviously didn't hear me, though.
I did. I just didn't listen. Sugar Bowl.
You can make a good husband someday.
Ooh, yeah. One day.
Sugar Bowl, Big 12 versus SEC.
ACC.
Huh?
Sugar Bowl?
Yeah.
Isn't the ACC? Big 12 versus ACC?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said SEC.
I did.
But it's the ACC.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Matt looks that up to prove me wrong or not talk to me ever again. I picked Miami over TCU. I think Miami's going to have enough games on TV and enough hype that they'll end up sneaking into this game. Yeah. That's all I got. I don't got a big explanation for it. I was just kind of going through who I thought had an opportunity. I figured they're the second best team in the ACC, so they should make it in. Well, Matt is looking that up. So,
I think you're wrong.
The Sugar Bowl. Sugar Bowl 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Sugar Bowl 2018 was Alabama-Clemson.
Right. SEC versus ACC, but that's not how it generally goes. See, that's the problem with bowl games, is they all say the Sugar Bowl is supposed to be the Big 12 versus the ACC, but we'll take one of those teams and let the other one go up for grabs because we don't really know how to keep everything the same as it was. And, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So,
but it doesn't matter, though.
SEC Big 12.
Well,
technically. It's the current.
So we're both wrong.
No, it's SEC Big 12 right now. It's supposed to be, except for when it's not.
Because when I was looking this up, it said ACC Big 12. Oh, God. This is some great radio.
Well, anyway,
so who do you have?
I've got Georgia over West Virginia in the Sugar Bowl.
Take it.
All right, let's skip the damn Sugar Bowl.
I know. I'm looking at this. This bugs me. So, go to Peach Bowl.
All right.
Well, do you not want to do the Peach Bowl?
I'm so lost now. My notes don't even make sense anymore.
Make them make sense.
All right, the Peach Bowl. Up until recently, I had one thing, but I have recently changed my mind. I have Wisconsin beating Miami in the Peach Bowl.
Nice. I like these ones because they're just at large bids and no one cares.
Right.
Right.
The hell I want.
Right. I took, drum roll, UCF over MSU. Took 2 flyers in this thing, and that was one of them.
Cool, man.
Yeah, why not? They were supposed to be in the championship last year. They didn't. Why not give them the Peach Bowl and let them beat MSU?
These are terrible predictions.
These are terrible predictions. Fiesta Bowl.
All right.
What do you got?
Georgia beating Washington.
That's lame. I have Georgia in it. I have them losing to. You ready?
Hold on. Let me guess.
You're not going to guess
I
it.
have no idea.
Fresno State. Remember the name Marcus McMaryion. He's going to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. He's a senior quarterback. He took Fresno State against Hawaii in the bowl last year. It was on I don't think it was New Year's Day, but he's coming back. He's a senior. He's ready to play. I think they lost 1 game last year. You watch out for Fresno State.
And that was a Muse hot take.
Boom! All right.
Cotton Bowl, Orange Bowl, semis. All right. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you my top 4 teams.
Sounds good. That's better.
In this order.
Oh, God.
Alabama, Clemson, Michigan State, and even though I said this before differently, I think Oklahoma's going to get in this year. But do they deserve it? I don't know. I have no idea. But I think Oklahoma's going to be number 4 this year. They're going to lose to Alabama in the, I'm going to guess, Orange Bowl.
Okay.
And Michigan State's going to lose to Clemson in the Cotton Bowl.
Okay.
I'll stop there for now.
Okay. I have my number 1, Clemson, 2, Washington, 3, Wisconsin, 4, Alabama. I have Clemson beating Alabama in the Cotton Bowl. And I have Wisconsin beating Washington in the Orange Bowl.
If anybody's still listening to this podcast right now, I give them tons of accolades.
If anyone tries to hold us to these, we're wrong. We know.
No, please hold us to it.
Oh yeah, hold us to it.
Blow
Just
us up.
don't take these legitimately. They're not right.
Clemson wins.
Clemson wins.
42-36.
Damn it! I didn't
Over
pick a
Alabama.
score. I put Clemson over Wisconsin. Why not?
Well, that's done.
All right.
That was brutal.
Hey, we limped through it. We're good to go. We don't got much
I
left.
didn't even limp through it. I rolled through it.
Couldn't even get
It's
off
like,
the
you know,
ground.
you climb the top of the hill and your legs fall asleep and you just fall back down like a fat kid. Oh, at least I've
Story of your
before.
life. Playoff expansion. So we just listed our 4 teams that we thought should be in the playoffs. I've always had the thought process of there should be 8. Make the Big 12 get a championship game, take the Power 5 schools, and leave the 3 up for grabs for teams like UCF, Notre Dame, FAU, all those smaller schools. Play it out 1 through 8. Championship takes over. Yeah, you go from there. What are your thoughts?
I agree. To a certain extent.
It's always to a certain extent.
It's tough. It would be really tough to do. Yeah, there's a lot more money that can be made from it in college football, no matter what anybody says, a revenue-driven sport. There's a lot more opportunity for these schools that may be deserving, like UCF last year, of getting in the championship, or at least an opportunity to play for the championship, that haven't received it in the past. But how long are you going to stretch the season out? I mean,
It's only adding 1 week. Just think about that. So you're taking your New Year's 6 bowls, those 5, the Rose, Sugar, Fiesta, Peach Bowl, Orange Bowl, Combo. Basically, you're taking those. You're all going to play them still on New Year's Eve. There's your first. Okay,
Yep, I got you.
There's your first
I
round.
just had to draw myself a map.
Oh,
We're good now. Yeah, you're only adding 1 week.
exactly. Then you next week. Semifinals. If you want to add a week in between, fine. If you want to do the bowls the week of Christmas or something, or the couple days before the Rose Bowl or before New Year's, so you could figure out days and weeks or however you want to do it, fine. But it's only adding 1 week.
It's true. I had to do the math. I apologize. That was a stupid statement.
So you were doing math. You drew a map, and you still don't really know what's going on.
I know exactly what's going on.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea.
At least you got there.
Yeah.
So
It's just a lot of overhead, a lot of money,
it is.
but it's something that the NCAA absolutely is capable of doing.
It is. And I don't think, my personal opinion is, I don't think it should go beyond those eight teams, because if you look outside those top 8 teams in any of the previous years, it's not.
Odds are there's not going to be a 9th or 10th
Yeah.
team, let alone 11th or 12th.
Right, exactly. Like we've all said, okay, the 16 is never going to beat a 1 seed. in the playoffs or in the March Madness, right? We always said it. It happened. First time in how many years? 30-something years. But if you go through the top 8 teams in last week of last year, you had Clemson, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Auburn, USC. I'll tell you right now, Wisconsin, Auburn, and USC are not winning.
Yep.
So that leaves you with 5. I think if you go beyond that, then you're going to bring in Penn State, Miami, Washington, UCF. I thought UCF should be in because they were undefeated, but that could make room for those 8 teams is bringing, hey, they're undefeated. We should put them in no matter what.
Yep.
But
in the long run, that's going to help bring recruits to some of these schools like
exactly.
UCF. Like, hey, we were national title contenders at one time.
Exactly.
No, it's good for the schools. It's good for the NCAA. It is going to be more revenue, and there's no reason not to do it. I mean, there is always an opportunity. You extend it to 6 teams, and you have 1 and 2, so you get a bye.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not necessarily fair in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
then you're giving those guys more rest.
Yep. So you got to go 8. You absolutely got to go 8, or you got to go 12. And you can't go 12 because there's not enough good teams.
Right. I say go 8, Power 5, make those championship games actually worth something, and go from there. Add the 5 other teams.
You can start talking about my buddy.
Your buddy Nick Saban. That's Matt's favorite coach in the world. He just got a massive contract extension because that's what he needed. He did not have enough money already. Didn't have his mortgage paid off. Didn't have his kids' mortgages paid off. Didn't have his great-grandkids' mortgages paid off. He is now signed through 2025. $65 million beyond for the life of that contract. $7.5 million a year. Makes ridiculous amount of money. This leads us to our stat/fact of the podcast, where Adam will just sit back and let Matt go to town.
So, this is more of a factual opinion of the podcast. Nick Saban is a notorious quitter. He quit at Michigan State when the recruiting got too tough for him. He quit at LSU when he got greedy and wanted to go to the NFL. He quit in the NFL when he coached the Dolphins because it became too difficult to wrangle in professional athletes. He went sub-500 in his 2 NFL seasons, 15 and 17. He quit on coaching Alabama when he started reaping the accolades and benefits of all the hard work his assistant coaches do. Nick Saban is a garbage individual that has gone around and around and around taking profit from these schools and these teams and hasn't done anything. Oh, he came in Alabama. Alabama was garbage before he got there. Well, Alabama was really, really good until 3 years before he got there. They had a down few years. I looked it up. Don't worry. It's true. He came in and he said, hey, I know this guy, and this guy. They all coach in the NFL still. You come play for me. I bet you I can find you a spot in his roster. Oh, yeah, sure, Mr. Saban. I'll come play for you. He doesn't have any sort of coaching talent whatsoever. I've got more coaching talent in my pinky toe on my left foot, which is my non-dominant foot, than he has in his entire body. Nick Saban is the worst person to ever coach the sport of football. I don't care any Alabama fans can say anything against me because I will fight you until I die about that. When he left Michigan State University, he left because he said he could not build a winning program there. Mark D'Antonio came in just a handful of years later, and boom, winning program. He's had 1 down year since then. It was a fluke season. Nick Saban is garbage. Nick Saban thinks he is a god to the state of Alabama. I'm here to tell you, Nick Saban, you're not. You are not even close to a god to the state of Alabama, and I will... Oh, if I ever see you, Nick Saban, if I ever see you, I will shake your hand, and then I will whisper in your ear, Nick Saban, I'm going to punch you in the throat tonight, and I never, ever want to talk to you again. I want you to quit coaching the sport of football. I am sick of hearing about you. I don't care what you're doing in the offseason. I don't care that you play basketball on ESPN in the mornings, and you give an interview to some schmuck reporter they send out in the field to say, oh, this is what Nick Saban does in the offseason. Apparently Nick Saban is good at basketball. That's amazing. They probably all let him win because he's only 5'6"? There's no way he's good at basketball. They probably say, oh, coach, it's such a good shot. We're not going to play defense on you again because we want to keep our damn jobs. Nick Saban, I'm sick of it. See ya.
Yeah, you could... So while Matt did that, I officially cleaned up the studio here. You can reach us by email, mattandmuse@gmail.com. Call or text us at 989-372-1391. Against 989-372-1391. Or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Matt and Muse. And you can always find our latest podcast at mattandmuse.com. We're going to go let Matt cool off. We'll be back in a couple weeks, ladies, gentlemen, with our NFL predictions. Talk to you soon. That was the Matt Muse Show. Thank you for listening.